Our next guest says she fell in love with R. Kelly after she met him following a concert in Texas in 2011. They dated for 2 years until 2013, and in 2017, she came forward with her story of survival. And now she's joining us on the show to talk all about the big verdict in the case. Kitti Jones, welcome to DBL. Thank you for your courage and for speaking to us today. So how did you react to yesterday's verdict, and how did it make you feel?
Thank you so much for having me. I just reflected on the journey. It had been 4 years of me speaking out, participating in documentaries, making sure my voice is being heard despite any backlash that may have taken place. I just never give up. And yesterday was just full of emotion, a lot of emotion.
I can't imagine.
Well, I mean, you spoke of the backlash, and I mean, anyone who has social media can see exactly what you're referring to. But you came forward with your survivor story in 2017 and have been featured in 2 documentaries about R. Kelly. So what was it like for you to come forward and share your truth with the world?
Well, in the beginning, it wasn't easy at all. I had been home for 4 years when I decided to share my story first with Rolling Stone, who gave me the platform. I didn't know what to expect, but I owe it all to the climate at the time. It was much different than previous years when, he had a trial in 2008 and 9. When if I would have came forward maybe a year or 2 before, I don't think we would be here today. I think the timing of my story coming out around the time the MeToo movement was viral, listen, and they were able to attach a face and a name and someone standing in their truth. Finally, when it came to him, because I know in the past, not many women or young girls were. I guess they weren't ready, to, put their faces out there and just wanted to remain anonymous. And I think it's easier for people to, I guess, tuck it away and pretend it didn't happen if they don't have a face attached to it.
Well, I mean,
if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. And there's so many layers to this because it also involves an examination of what's happening in your own household as well as to why you wouldn't believe the victims. How do you respond to people who continue to stand by him? And especially, and I just want to add this layer, the idea that his victims were Black and brown women. They stand by him, but they question your story. How do you feel about that today?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of layers, like you said. It's been, that's been my biggest hurt in this whole thing because my hurts came from the Black community when I came forward. In particular, women that look like me in my age group. I was shocked to see the Black media platforms like the blogs on social media posting us, and in the comments of them making fun of our hair. What we had on, just getting totally off the topic, defending him, calling us groupies. And everyone's individual story is different. It was hurtful. But, at the end of the day, I think what's important is that, everyone is entitled to have their truth heard. And I just been grateful for, like I said, reputable platforms like Lifetime and Rolling Stone that gave me my first voice and, that took our stories to another level, and it forced people to pay attention.
Well, let's get back to your story. Why do you think it took so long to get to this point, especially after there's countless stories about his behavior? Why do you think it took so long?
It took long, like I said, because the climate was different back then. He was still being embraced in the music industry after the first trial. I know the year that I met him in 2011, he had just performed at a Clive Davis Grammy party. He was still being nominated for awards. His tours were still sold out. I was hosting his after party for my radio station at the time when I met him. So it was, he was still, like I said, being embraced, being booked. Concerts were still selling out. And I don't think anyone at that time would have felt comfortable coming forward, because he was still a music giant, I guess, you know? So like I said, it just took a lot of bravery, just not for myself, but just a lot of the women and all of us coming together, and the power in the numbers, you know, people paying attention to us, because it was just more than just standing alone. Your story, you know, it may get a little noticed, you know, from publications and media, but you know, when it was a number of us together and we all had different stories that had evolved from the 90s leading into the late, you know, the 2020, and everyone's story was just, you know, jaw dropping. I didn't know that he had evolved from the time that I had left him in 2013. So
we appreciate you.
You know, I'm just happy that we are where we are now. And
well, that's because,
like I said, it's been a tough road, and yesterday was full of emotions for me.
Right. Well, yesterday happened, and the change in the climate is because of people like you. So, Kitti, thank you so much for your courage, for your voice. We appreciate you coming on our show today. And for more of her story, check out Kitti's memoirs, I Was Somebody Before This, and her follow-up book, Heal, As You Reveal. Both of them are available on Amazon right now. Thank you so much, Kitti. We appreciate you.
Thank you all for having me.
Yeah, have a good day.